All right, let's get started. Welcome, everybody. It's Motivate Mondays. Hope everyone had an excellent weekend. I sure did. Excuse me, I'm parched. Just finished walking the dog. Did about a mile. He's tired. He knows it's his bedtime after that last walk of the day. And if you all are checking in, please say something. I want to see if these comments are going to come up on this. If they're going to come up in StreamYard. I changed a couple of settings. So give me a shout, a 1 or a 2, if you're here. That way I can post it on the StreamYard. So let's see. I see my post. Okay. And I guess as I see people checking in, we'll go. Like I said, excellent weekend. Excellent weekend. Has spent some time with the family. We actually what happened on Sunday? Sunday, we ended up going, I took my nieces and my son to see Jungle Cruise. And it's a surprisingly good movie. Jungle Cruise, The Rock was in it. I don't know all the other characters in it. It's a Disney movie. A little over 2 hours. It was perfect. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, if you're checking in, say something. I just want to see if I can post this on my video. So if you're in the chat, if you're in the comment section, etc., say something. Or maybe I need to change. No, this should be fine. I think it's going out to everybody. So please type something. So I had an excellent weekend. Jungle Cruise. Spent some time with the family. Had an excellent meeting last night. One of my mentors this was for real estate. Had a nice meeting. Enjoyed that as well. And gotta have to talk about this. Was Friday night. We did the community beacon, Joel and myself. And we actually had Lou to join in as well. We spoke about fatherhood versus daddyhood. Excuse me. Excellent conversation. I'm going to go back and listen to it, chop it up a little bit, give you all some clips. There were a lot of gems in there coming from 3 different men raising their households, definitely in different ways. Obviously, you know that I have 2 children and I'm a single father. And whereas Joel is married and he's raising his kids. So it's an excellent show. Please go check out that Friday if you are at all interested in that topic. And we'll be doing it each and every Friday. 6:30 is what time we start. Just having a conversation. Of course, you all can chime in, and we had a bunch of people chiming in, going back and forth within the audience and really engaging. And if you actually get a chance to watch that video, please engage in it. I'll answer the comments if you write something in the comments. So let's get into it. Healthy families and laying the foundation. Today is the last Monday of the month. So I kind of wanted to transition from this healthy families, and then we're going to go into just actually families. That's what we'll be talking about next month in September. Because family is something that's really passionate for me. I'm really into legacy. I'm really into generational wealth because that's how I was brought up, taught by an excellent mother. So I want to talk about the relationship of healthiness and and how it relates to families as we transition into September being Family Month. Now, one of the things I had a conversation with a friend earlier, and we were talking, and he's about to go on a fast. And as I've been telling you all throughout the month, is that the only magic bullet in your health is, to me, is fasting. Like fasting gets everything done, and it gets it done really quickly. Um, but here's the thing with fasting, right? Is that there are two things that most people can't master. Most people can't master their desires, and most people can't master what they put in their bodies, their food. So most people can't master their desires, and most people can't master what they put in their body. It takes a lot of discipline to do a fast. You know what I mean? And it essentially it ends up being willpower. Now, you can go into a fast a little bit more calculated. There's are some things that you can do leading up to a fast, but I'm telling you, and then the fast I'm talking about is the extended fast, not a 24-hour fast, because you can forget to eat for 24 hours. But when you start to get into those 2 and 3 day fasts, for most people, it's a whole different situation. And I've done up to a 5 day fast, and I once did a 3 day fast. That was no water, no food, which is just a spiritual experience all within itself. You might be talking in tongues by the end of it, but the magic bullet is the fast. And I was also in a conversation, and it seems like a lot of us are looking for this magic bullet. When we start talking about, oh, here we go. That I see. Adrian, what's going on? So it is showing up. Perfect. I love it. Love it. Thank you, Adrian. What's going on? So a lot of people want to talk about these different magic, a lot of people just think that you can just lose weight like that, or rather get healthy. Because I say it's better for you to get healthy. And one of the byproducts of getting healthy is you losing weight. Your body essentially comes down to the weight that it's probably more than likely meant to carry. So what I'm learning, especially within this time, and everything that I've learned, what I'm looking at, and we spoke about this on Friday, is that our children tend to glean from us. And definitely if you're a man and you're the leader of your household, or if you're a woman and you're the leader of your household, if you're a single mother, these kids are looking at you and seeing exactly what you do. That's what they're doing. They're doing that more than they're following what you say. A kid can eat your vegetables. Like, they don't care. Eat healthy. They don't care. They're watching what you do. And I know this because that's what Elijah does. Elijah watches what I do. And so if I'm eating unhealthy, if I'm eating chips, if I'm eating, pizza, whatever the case may be, this is what, and he actually blamed me for him gaining weight. Right? He was like, "You're the father, you feed this to me." Excuse me. He's like, "You're the father and you feed this to me." And I had to take it into consideration. This is the truth. I am the one who has to set the tone as to what it is that he's going to do, and to establish a lot of these healthy habits. These habits. This is what we pass down, right? Most of us eat unhealthy because of what we seen was unhealthy. Like, I didn't learn how to really eat until, well, what to eat. And of course, I was an athlete in high school. Didn't know what I was doing in college. Gained a bunch of people's. I gained freshman 15. I gained a couple people's freshman 15. And it wasn't until I was maybe about 24, 25 when I met Officer Thurlow when I was working with the city of West Palm Beach. And he explained it to me. I had no idea. I always thought that you could just work it off. I'll do 2 a days. I'll just work it off. And we now know that you cannot outwork, or if you don't know, I'm telling you now, you cannot outwork a bad diet. You can't outwork a bad diet. Just going to, go look at the calories that you'll get just going to Chick-fil-A, which I think is a great, I love Chick-fil-A, right? Everyone who doesn't like Chick-fil-A. Look at the calories on the counter. Like, if you get a regular meal at Chick-fil-A, which ultimately isn't really that filling, it's good, but it's not really filling, you're going to be already at about 1,500 to 2,000 calories, which is your daily caloric intake limit. Now you go to the gym and you attempt to work that out. You know how hard you have to work to burn off 2,000 calories? And I'm a pretty hard worker at the gym. And I might get up to 1,000, might get up to 1,200, 1,300, but I'm working. I'm doing, 20 minutes of lunges, more than that sometimes. Um, doing lifting heavy weights, and you got to constantly keep your heart rate up. I mean, your heart rate has to be above 120, 130. I'm close to 40, so that's about what it takes for me to burn off these extra calories. You cannot work and a bad diet. However, we're not most of us aren't taught this by our parents. You're definitely not taught this in schools. I looked at what they're feeding my kids in school right now, my son in school right now, and our kids in school right now, and none of this stuff is advent. None of this stuff is nutritious, essentially. And I'm going to go as far as saying even your doctors, like most of our doctors aren't even in shape or aren't healthy when you look at them. Like generally the majority of doctors go to the hospital and look at the doctors in the hospital. You might see one or two doctors that are somewhat in healthy looking shape, because they don't even understand nutrition. And most medical doctors will tell you they probably take like one semester of nutrition, and it's probably the wrong nutrition. So it's important for us to start to learn now that we have all of this knowledge. You got me too. You got Uncle Mike that's willing to give you as much information as possible. If you go back and look at most of my live streams, if you all in here, give me a one, give me a hello. Let me make sure you're saying something to me, because I don't want to miss any comments. I do see Adrian's comment. Let me check in real quick. So if you're checking in, just say something. I want to make sure that I can see the comments and I don't have to keep flipping back and forth to my Facebook on my phone. So most of our doctors aren't even giving us the right information. Most of our parents didn't know this right information, and this is why we start to have this history of diabetes. We have this history of heart conditions. We have all these other different issues because we just don't know. And the more and more that they start to put certain hormones, the more and more they start to put more things into our foods, and the more we start to be a little bit more convenient, because I think that's really the difference. The difference is now that the foods that we tend to get, because we are so busy, right, tend to be less nutritious, right? They're not bad, they're less nutritious. The McDonald's, the pizzas, the whatever. And all it would take, I see a thumbs up over there. So I appreciate that. So let me see Dean. Dean's funny. He says, it's for more convenient to eat. It's for sure more convenient to eat unhealthy. So if I eat fried pig feet with a Diet Coke, that's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? I used to deliver pizzas in college, and it was the most interesting thing in the world to me. I worked at one of the national brands when they would order a meat lovers stuffed crust, and then they say, put the Diet Coke on the side. And it always just put it, even back then, and I was unhealthy. Like, just have your Coke, sir. Have the regular Coke. But so Adrian, it's more convenient to eat unhealthy. It appears to be, and it's not really. We just don't want to eat. We're so used to, and we crave most of these unhealthy things. Like all the salt that we put on food, salt makes you crave more salt. Although salt's not terrible. The problem with salt is that we don't get enough potassium with our salt. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but salt is not the most terrible. I guess iodized table salt is. Okay, I'll say that. But pink Himalayan salt, Celtic sea salt, those are some of the good salts that we can have. But it makes us crave it more. When you have sugary products, you tend to crave it. Have you ever went on a no sugar diet and felt the effects of the withdrawal for the first 2 days, or the first day to 2 days, if you're not prepared for it? I mean, we're talking about headaches, we're talking about tiredness, we're talking about everything. Like all these things are coming because we crave these different things, right? Let me see. I'm saying if I'm doing a drive-through window, I try to eat a salad more expensive than for I'm reading this and I'm laughing. Let me tell you something. I think they've made it somewhat cheaper. It's interesting, right? So it said, yeah, on the run, hard to eat a salad and more expensive than the 4x4 at Wendy's. So now we have the illusion like we're on the run. I think that our health should take a precedence over whatever else it is, because if you don't have the health and you're struggling, you gonna get that time back. Where's the cost actually coming from? But you're right. It's perceived that 4x4 at Wendy's is less expensive, and I think it's for darn sure more delicious than than making that salad. I'm interested in understanding and not understanding, but we know that our predecessors had no issues giving you a home cooked meal because it was prioritized to make a home cooked meal. I'm at the point now where I think most people can't cook anyway, so that's probably why they don't. Why all of a sudden everything else is more convenient. But what we need to get to the point where we have to start prioritizing, and we need to let our children know and our family members know that we prioritize making our meals at home somewhat healthy meals at home, because it's going to be healthier than whatever we pick up while we're running, right? I think there's a saying that goes, especially when we're talking about, and I'm going to get into it. I guess this is a great way to move into it, because I wanted to start talking about our stressors. Was that there was a yogi who said, I think it was who said, what if I don't have 20 minutes to meditate? Because I want to talk, we'll get into stress. He said, well, then take an hour to meditate, right? So we have to start finding and prioritizing these times. And so that was getting to the point of passing down these healthy habits. Now, the next habit of why we tend to keep while we're not healthy, and we start to take on dis-ease. This is your real estate guy. I'm still a real estate guy, but I want to talk about it, and I'll explain the belt a little bit later on. Is take on dis-ease is the stress levels. Our stress. We're stressed out because we're running. One of the side effects of getting healthy is less stressors, or being able to handle stress more effectively. Our endorphins are running. Our adrenaline is always running. We're like we're in extreme adrenal fatigue all day long because we're chasing whatever it is that we're chasing. Apparently, most of us will never catch it. 99% of us will never catch whatever it is that we're chasing. Wealth, money, need to make this thing on time. Okay. So we need to figure out different ways to handle these different stressors. And here are a couple of different ways. One, I just told you what I was doing a second ago. I was walking the dog. Now, when I walk the dog, I listen to some type of YouTube thing or something, or sometimes I'm just walking and having the time with my dog, seeing what's going on around me, being outside. That's one of the ways that I use to handle stress. And if you have a different way of handling how you handle stress, put it in the comments. Another way to handle stress, the gym. You got to get in there, people. I spoke about it at the beginning of this month. I had a conversation with a guy in the gym, and he said that he's in there for at least 3 hours a day. I don't know if he works, right? I'm not saying you need to be in there for 3 hours a day. You need to go in there for about an hour, though. I don't think there's anything that you can do in the gym for 30 minutes or 45 minutes and get a real workout. I'm at the age where it takes me about 30 minutes to warm up. No lie. About 20 to 30 minutes. Okay. So you need to be you need to be in the gym for about an hour. And if you really can't, an hour and a half working out. We're getting a lot of things thrown at us. A Peloton, perfect. I think Thomas was saying that you all had grabbed one. Get on it. There's this this saying, and it's a complete lie. Do not listen. 20 minutes, walk 20 minutes 3 times a week and be heart healthy. Let me tell you something. Walking 20 minutes 3 times a week is nothing. You do that at the supermarket. Brisk walking, intentional walking, but it has to be more than 3 times a week. It has to be more than 3 times a week. In America, I think our obesity rate is over, what is it, close to 80% now, if not over. When you look at the people who are affected severely by what's going on right now, 73% of them are obese. What's obese? A BMI of 30, we can get 31 or above. We really have to start taking a look at what's going on as opposed to getting a shot for this so-called, and I'm not saying, I'm not pro and I'm not anti. What I'm saying is that people are treating it as if it's a magic bullet. There's only one magic bullet. I'm going to say it again. Fasting. The moment you feel some type of way, start fasting. Most people can't do it. So instead of, because they're not prepared to do it. So you need to start preparing before a bunch of these negative things start happening to you. Okay? So I said walking, going to the gym, and I practice transcendental meditation 2 times a day for 20 minutes. If you, and they're like all over the country, so you can possibly go get taught how to do transcendental meditation. It's very easy. You can do it anywhere. Invest in yourself. Go learn how to meditate. Oh, my mind goes crazy. Listen, if I can do it, anybody can do it. If I can meditate, if I can sit in one spot for 20 minutes, anybody can do it. Okay. Go learn. And I think there's even a cheaper, because I think I'm not gonna lie, I think, and this was like maybe almost 9 to 10 years ago when I started practicing transcendental meditation, and I go away from it and I go back every now and then. Yep, Grady, meditation. I go back and I come back from it every now and then. And I can tell the difference between when I'm not meditating and when I am meditating. It changes life. It's slow. For me, it slows things down. So that impulse is like, I feel it come up, and instead of me just acting on it, it's just like, okay, I'm slowing it down. I'm able to make the right decision. So you got to meditate. Here's the last thing that I wanted to talk about in regards to it. There's a saying that says, elevation requires separation. Look at the people that you are hanging around. Look at the people that you're hanging around. I remember when I started working at the city, I weighed in probably at $270. This is maybe in 2007, 2008. Right? I was weighing in at $270, and then I met Officer Thurlow. Officer Thurlow put me on that nutritional plan. It was the easiest thing in the world, and I got to cheat every Saturday, and I went crazy. And then he gave me the workouts, and he switched it up every month. He switched up our workout, and I lost like 60, probably lost real quick 50 pounds. And then I started going down to 210, 200, and I was in between 210, 200 until I really started really dialing it in. And 270. 270. Probably was more than that. When I got on the scale, I was 270. I probably had already been working out for a little before I got on the scale. And so when I brought it down, when I got to about 220, 215, and I'm starting to look, real good, you start looking real good, feeling yourself. I remember a young lady came up to me that I knew, and she said, oh, you look like you're sick, like something's wrong with you. Of course, this young lady was she was obese. And I'm like, huh? Like here I am working as hard as I'm working to look as good as as good as I can look. And you start to get these negative comments from people who don't want to, because I can't say that I'm more disciplined than anybody else, but these people don't want to do what they want to do. They don't want to be disciplined at all. So if they can't do it, what misery loves company. They want to put a wrench in what you got going on. And I don't necessarily think most people do it on purpose, right? Some people do. Some people are that kind of way, but I'm trying to choose to be positive, right? But you cannot be around these people who are eating all of the chitlins, all of the hog moss, all of the macaroni, every fixing, like, and this is just like a regular thing all day, every day. You have to separate yourself from these people. And guess what? When you start doing it, you will go to the gym. You will meet new people. You will have different conversations. Elevation requires separation. I'm gonna put this in the thing. I need to talk about it, man. Let me. This is important. This is important. Elevation requires separation. Get around some positive. Get around some positive. Get around some people who are going in the direction that you are going in, and stick with them. Otherwise, people will tend to feed into your sickness. And so they'll see you, and once again, I don't necessarily believe that people are looking to just, to just derail you purposefully. They just can't help it. Because if you get better, then they may be forced to get better, and they're not ready for that change yet. So opposed to having you change, or excuse me, so opposed to having them change, they're looking at you to remain the same and be complacent. But you want to live. You want to enjoy your life. So I spoke about this entire month. I've been telling you about me gaining all this extra weight after my mother passed, the pandemic, whatever excuses are out there, you name it. Whatever excuses you can have, I can give it to you. That's what was going on for the last year. So I ended up I got up to about 240, probably 240, 242 when I stepped on the scale, to my surprise. Whole time some people are like, Mike, you look like you're kind of gaining some weight. I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't really paying it. I didn't want to pay attention to it. I was in my own zone. But for a lot of other people were telling me like, oh, you look fine. Like it's fine. But I'm like, I don't feel fine. Something's kind of wrong. But once you start eating, you don't even know. That's the thing. The difference when you're eating clean, like you don't know you're not thinking correctly until you start eating clean. Then you're like, whoa, like I was in a constant fog. I think I started doing this show. We started probably in January, December, and right now I would be so tired. Like I don't feel like doing it. I'd walk. I don't even think I had the dog at the time. I'm just like, I don't want to do this show. I'm tired. Right? I'm up because I was still getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I was, getting up and doing something and then going back to sleep. Tired. Now today, I woke up at 3 o'clock, beat the alarm clock, haven't been to sleep all day, still going strong and moving around. I'm out doing the kids now, but I want to get to the point of, so I got to 240 and I said, you know what? I need to enact everything that I was doing before. And here's the story with the belt was, this is when I knew it was over, right? Because here I'm gonna call this the championship pandemic belt, right? This is the championship pandemic belt that I had to get because I went to put on some slacks. Because when you're gaining weight, you start putting on sweatpants every day, and the pandemic allowed for it. I was wearing sweatpants everywhere. I'm just going on Zoom meetings, right? So one day I had an appointment with a client I had to meet, and I went to go put on my belt. I could not fit the belt that I had. I said, "Oh, whoa." Everybody told me I was looking good. What happened? I had to quickly go grab this belt and shoot to the appointment. My pandemic belt, right? I was like, this is insane. I got to buy another belt. That's when I decided to kick it into gear. Well, actually, a lot of you know I had a newborn. So after the baby was born, this is April, I said I got to kick it into gear. I can't be at this 235, and I don't want my new son to see it. I don't want my older son to see it. It's time. I'm the leader in my family. I need to change this trajectory of it. And so I kicked into gear and started learning a lot more about eating, about insulin response, insulin resistance, etc. Of course, I've always been a faster, went back to my fasting, etc. And had to get to it. So since May, losing consistently about 8 to 10 pounds. I think I'm down. I'm down about 40 something pounds right now. I mean, I'm early 200s. Probably about a week to 2 weeks. I'm losing about 2 pounds a week. 80% fat, 20% muscle, because I got to maintain the muscle. I don't just want to be I don't just want to be a weakling. So so I'm still maintaining muscle, doing a lot of heavy lifting, fasted. I lift fasted for 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't eat until 3, 4 o'clock. I think I'm gonna switch it to about 1. I'll eat twice a day, 1 o'clock and probably about 5 o'clock. Although that one time eating it pretty much fills me, because what happened is my stomach probably shrank. Just because I'm doing the intermittent fasting as well, which were only 18 hours a day. But and I'm saying all this stuff, and I'm going to stop there, because I think a lot of people, you'll end up getting overwhelmed. But this is what happens when you start getting around people who are having these conversations, as opposed to hanging around the same people. Oh, we're gonna go in the gym together, girl. That's me pretending to be a girl, right? We're going to the gym together, girl, right? Or you and your homeboys, or we're gonna go in the gym, we're gonna go lift, or whatever the case may be. How long does that last? There's always that one person out the bunch who just continues going, and eventually, if he continues waiting on these people, then they'll no longer do it. You have to get around people who are already doing it. And this gives you also a chance to go meet some new people. Go to a new gym. Like, I was going to City Place and North Lake all the time. Now I'm going to a different one, and I go to LA Fitness. That is not a recommendation. Go find something else to do. Do some things that you enjoy, but I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of the things you will not enjoy. You'll just do it, but you'll enjoy it when you'll enjoy being around other people, but a lot of these workouts you will not necessarily enjoy. I don't necessarily enjoy going to the gym every day, but it's something that needs to be done. Right? So you have to separate yourself from a lot. You got to separate yourself from people, man. Separate yourself from the crowd. Tell them, hey, I'll see you in 6 months. That's what it's going to take for most people. Because you want to get that habit, and you want to ingrain it. Not after 6 months, go back and go have a conversation with these people. But you are so ingrained in your habit, and people are the key to life. You've brought on other people to help you, or that you've seen who's doing it. I had my little gym community. I was leaving the gym the other day, and I was like, I'm sick of this. I don't think I'm gonna do these lunges. I came up with every excuse as why not to do lunges, and boom, the young lady said, hey, are you gonna do your lunges today? And I was like, Sure. Had to go finish them. Let me see. Be a small fish in a big pond. That way you are curious and grow continuously. 1000%. And then, I don't know how you put them both together, but be a small fish in a big pond. That way you are you're curious and grow continuously. That's what it's about for yourself personally. But people are the key to it all. You have a lock in you, right? Figuratively, people are the key. All the information. Have those conversations. You don't have to have the conversation every time. I'm not really a talkative person when I'm at the gym. Like, I just want to go in there and get out. I'm not looking at nobody. I'm just trying to do what it is that I have to do while I'm in there and not waste any time. I want to be as efficient as possible. However, sometimes I'm not saying have the conversation every now and then. Hey, what's going on? You can't imagine the amount of people who I don't know, who never met before, who are cheering me on. Oh, there he is. Oh my God, how much weight have you lost already? Like, this is, like, that's what it's gonna take. Separate from certain people, family, friends, associates. Hey, I got something to do, man. Then they go, oh, let me get in there with you. No. I got this trainer's number. Call him. I used to do that. Don't try to work out with people until you have got it in. That's 6 months. Don't you can't come with me. Don't even tell them where you're working out at. Elevation requires separation. Let me see. If you're giving more in a relationship, if you are giving more in a relationship than receiving, it's time to evaluate the relationship. I think I agree. I'm trying to understand it, Kenyatta. I think we should always be giving, but definitely there's a lot of people who are just takers. I think we should always continuously evaluate our relationships. I think that's enough. I want to know if you all have any questions. I think you all can kind of join this broadcast if I put it in here. Let me see. Let me see if I put this in the chat. If you want to come on, I'll hang out for a little bit. I'll just, that's the end for a healthy August, man. I appreciate you all for sticking with me. We'll be going into September. I really want to start talking and focusing on family, our family and our familial relationships. Our relationships and family, all that good stuff, man. Yes, I mean, iron sharpens iron. This helps with knowing who's elevating with you. 1000%. I'm going to tell you what, man. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but most people aren't moving. 95%. It's a reason why 95% of the people are living like paycheck to paycheck, man. There's a huge reason why. And there's a huge reason why, 5%, 3% of the population control the majority of the wealth, like 70 to 80% of the wealth. Most people are not elevating. I had a conversation with a friend today, and they were talking about these different courses. There's courses out here that are $5, $10, $15, $20, $30,000 courses, and people don't do anything with the information, and it's given to them. So, I definitely think we need to start working on ourselves. And a lot of this work is done in silence and finding new people who are already ahead of us. Like you said in your initial comment, be a small fish in a big pond. Do not be the most athletic, hardest working person in the gym. You need to glean from people. You need to look at somebody. Oh, what's that exercise for? Like, what are you doing with that exercise? Really, most of you all just need to hire a coach. Hire a coach, personal, hire a personal coach, hire a personal trainer, hire some business coaches, all of that. Most of you all need coaches, 1000%. But once you get that coach, you meet, but every now and then you'll see someone doing a certain thing. Like, well, what is that for? Like, I go in there and I lunge a lot. People ask me, why are you lunging? Why do you lunge so much? Because I don't want to run. That's that. And I don't want to do CrossFit, but essentially it's because I want to get my cardio in without losing a lot of muscle. I don't want to lose a lot of lean muscle. So I'll do the lunges as opposed to running, because I know when I run, if I run long periods of running, or, some HIIT workouts, which I really don't like, but HIIT workouts will kind of help you keep that lean muscle. But anytime you're running for long periods of time, which I have done last year, I run like a half marathon, you lose a lot of muscle. So I don't want to lose a lot of muscle. I don't want to give up a lot of strength. They didn't know that. Oh, for real? Yeah. Now I'm in the gym. A bunch of people are lunging. And I lunge in between my sets, definitely between my squats. And I squat every day. So I lunge 10 times, 400, get a quick 400 meters of lunges in while I'm doing in between my squats. And then at the end of the gym, I'll lunge for 400 meters. And on Saturdays and Sundays, I'll do about 800. So I do about 600 to 800 meters every day of lunges, which is, if you're on a track, one time around the track is 400 meters, twice is 800. Any questions, people? I was listening to, so I'll move on. I was listening to a guy, if you all haven't had a chance to check him out, Anton Daniels, and he just did a show. He was live. He's probably still live now. He normally goes about 3-4 hours. And they were talking about, he talks about money a lot, like gaining money and gaining wealth. And they would be dropping so much gems on that show. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So check out AntonDaniels.com. And I think that's it, man. I did a good 40 minutes. Check us out Fridays at 6:30. Community Beacon. Last week we had an excellent show in regards to fatherhood versus daddyhood. Raising strong, powerful men in the community, children in the community. But we definitely focused on our boys. I have 2 boys. Joel has 1. Lou has 2 men now. One entering law school, his first year of law school. One that's already finished his internship and is actually practicing law. And I was there when these young men were growing up. 10 to 12 years, 10 to 11 years of friendship. A little over 11 years at this point now. So go back and check the last one out. I'll be cutting that up and distributing it during the week so you can see little clips of it, little videos of it. And then we'll do another show on Friday. Other than that, man, listen, I appreciate you all checking in. Kenyatta, thank you. Who I got? Grady, thank you. Appreciate you, man. You all are my oxygen. I think I seen Adrian in here. Appreciate it. Dean, appreciate you as well. I will check you all out later, man. Comment, subscribe, and please share. Thanks.